Welcome back to Real America here on OAN. Our next guest, the CEO of a firm called Juniper Research, an expert in cutting through all of the fog in Washington when it comes to healthcare, education, energy, defense, and taxes, which is one of the main reasons I asked him to be our guest tonight. Welcome to the show, Chris Jacobs. Chris, how are you, sir?
Thanks for having me.
So you wrote a new book called The Case Against Single Payer. We're going to get to that in a moment, but I know that your firm helps to take some of those issues I just spoke about and break them down into layman's terms for dummies like me. Because sometimes I think a lot of this DC jargon and these bills and orders and everything, they get so convoluted, there's so many pages long that the American people just have no clue what's actually being done on their behalf by lawmakers. So first and foremost, I know you guys do stuff on the tax code and taxes. That question came up at the debate this week, even though it wasn't in the 6 categories that Wallace was supposed to discuss, but we've gone off enough on Mr. Wallace. So let's stick to task here, which is the taxes of the 2 candidates. Now, first and foremost, because this is one of your areas of expertise, I'm sure you looked at the article from the New York Times with those illegally obtained taxes of our president. Did he do anything illegal, and was there any connection to Russia in his taxes? Yes or no?
Well, we certainly didn't see any connection to Russia. I don't think I even recall Russia being mentioned in the president's tax returns at all.
And anything illegal?
The funny thing, of course, not that I can tell. I mean, it's difficult based on the Times article, but I don't see anything illegal necessarily.
Yeah. Let's talk about Mr. Biden's taxes. Nobody brought that up. Nobody's talking about it this week. Have you seen any? I know he said he was going to release them the other day. Have you guys poured over him yet and looked through to see if he's dodging anything or using the tax code to his benefit like Mr. Trump did?
Well, yes, Dan. In fact, he's continued to use in his 2019 returns, just as in his 2017 and 2018 returns, he used a loophole in the tax code to dodge over $500,000 in payroll taxes. And those taxes fund Medicare, and those taxes fund Obamacare. It's funny that Joe Biden says he supports Medicare and Obamacare, but yet when it comes to his own personal taxes, he won't put his money where his mouth is.
I need his accountant because, man, I look at what they take out of me and woof. Let's talk about health care because you have this book, The Case Against Single Payer, and we know that was something that President Trump touted on during the debates. So tell us a little bit about your book and your feelings on Obamacare and why it's just been a disaster for the American people.
Well, it has been a disaster. Certainly premiums going up, millions of people priced out of the market for health insurance. I think, as I outline in the book, The Case Against Single Payer, the debate in the Democratic primaries really was not a debate over ends. It was all Democrats really believe in moving towards government-run healthcare, total socialized medicine. It's really a question of means and how quickly to get there. And I talk about in the book how this government-run plan, the so-called public option, is really designed to funnel people into government-run healthcare and ultimately give us a socialized medicine system. I mentioned, I wrote a report actually, people can find it on my website, 2 weeks ago, talking about how employer-provided health coverage is not safe under a Biden presidency because Biden wants to funnel everyone into these exchanges, ultimately in the government-run plan in the exchanges, and turn that into a single-payer health care system.
So we know that health care will be a mess if Biden's elected. Last question here for you, Chris. How about the tax code and tax structure? I'm sure you've looked at the websites of both candidates, read what their tax plan is. What's a Biden versus Trump future look like for a middle-income family as far as taxes?
Well, Joe Biden wants to raise taxes. Now, he says he would raise taxes only on the very richest Americans, but there's also a movement among Obamacare advocates to reinstate the individual mandate, the Obamacare individual mandate, as a way to short-circuit the lawsuit that's currently before the Supreme Court. Reinstating the individual mandate would be a huge tax increase on the middle class, and again, for somebody in Joe Biden who didn't pay his Obamacare taxes to begin with. Obamacare taxes for thee, but not for me. That's not a great slogan. The American people deserve better.
Oh, man, not enough time. They're giving me the hard rap. CEO of Juniper Research, Chris Jacobs. Let's have you back on real soon, maybe after the next debate, because I'm sure more of this stuff will come up and we'll need your expertise, sir. Thank you so much. The book, again, The Case Against Simple Payer. Chris Jacobs, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
All right, stick around. Coming up on Real America, a friend of ours, Ricky Rebel, is on the show.